Part 1 of the trilogy begins in the Shire where the hobbits live happily. A magician appeared. He was Gandalf the Grey, one of 5 wizards sent to the land of Middle-earth to aid the peoples here against the forces of darkness that were slowly returning. Gandalf went to the Shire to visit an old friend, Bilbo Baggins. This is the time of Bilbo Baggins' 111th birthday. Before the ceremony, Bilbo announced that he was leaving the Shire. He said goodbye to everyone and then secretly used the ruling ring to disappear. Then Bilbo returned home, packed his things. Gandalf appeared and criticized Bilbo's stupidity. Gandalf warned Bilbo not to use the Ring of Power indiscriminately because there were many power rings in this world, but Gandalf did not know that it was the ruling ring. After Bilbo left his entire fortune to his nephew Frodo, Gandalf persuaded Bilbo to leave behind the mysterious ring that Bilbo always carried with him. Bilbo accepted that reluctantly and left. Gandalf waits for Frodo's return to hand over all of his possessions and the mysterious ring to Frodo, and then quickly leaves to learn about the ring. Meanwhile, in the murky land of Mordor, the Dark Lord Sauron has returned from his banishment from the fortress of Barad-dûr in The Hobbit. He had people capture the golem and extract information about Bilbo Baggins and sent the Nazgul troops to the Shire to search for his ring. Meanwhile, Gandalf went to the Gondor city of Minas Tirith, looking for ancient records of the ruling ring that he had once had access to. Gandalf returned to the Shire with information about the sign of the ruling ring. And when he put it in the fire, it appeared black speech of Sauron, confirm it is the ruling ring. Gandalf had explained to Frodo the danger of the Lord of the Ring when darkness would come with calamities. He asked Frodo to leave. However, Gandalf and Frodo's conversation was overheard by Sam, a Baggins gardener. So Gandalf punished him by being Frodo's companion on the way to bring the ring to Rivendell, home of the Elrond Lord. He would give a solution. At the beginning of their journey, Frodo and Sam accidentally meet Merry and Pippin, Frodo's friends in the Shire. Because of Nazgul's pursuit, Merry and Pippin unwittingly became Frodo's next companion. At this time, the Gandalf the Grey heads to Isengard to find Saruman the White, the leader of wizards in Middle-earth, for advice. But Saruman tacitly shook hands with the Dark Lord Sauron. He tried to convince Gandalf to follow him, but Gandalf did not agree and was imprisoned by Saruman at the top of the tower. Then Saruman was ordered from Sauron to build an army worthy of Mordor. He began by creating a new species, the Uruk-hai, that could move under light that his orcs could not. And he also cut down the forest to get wood for the smithy. They planned to make weapons for war ahead. Frodo's group continued to move and temporarily took refuge in the village of Bree, where they met Aragorn, the leader of the Northern Rangers. He said that he was a friend of Gandalf and would lead everyone to Rivendell safely. The hobbits and Aragorn stopped at Weathertop for the night, but the Nazgul were able to follow to get back the ring. Frodo is forced to use the ruling ring to become invisible in the hope of escaping, but he is still stabbed by Witch King, the leader of the Nazgul group. Fortunately, Aragorn arrived to the rescue in time, temporarily chasing the Nazgul. Arwen, the princess of Rivendell, arrives just in time to carry Frodo ahead, keeping him and the ring safe. At the same time, the Nazgul group was also swept away by a flood summoned by Arwen. Frodo was saved in time by Lord Elrond. Waking up, Frodo is reunited with Gandalf, who escaped from Isengard with the help of the Eagles. Frodo is also reunited with Sam, Merry and Pippin with his uncle Bilbo Baggins after a difficult journey. Lord Elrond, when he learned that Frodo had brought the ring, he held a secret meeting with representatives of the 3 free races of Middle-earth, men, elves and dwarves, to decide the solution for the Lord's ring. The debate raged with many conflicts as many wanted to use the ring's power against their enemies, but Gandalf stated that the ring would not be used because it was too dangerous. The ring will easily manipulate anyone. The only option is to destroy the ring, but it must be destroyed in the lava of Mount Doom, deep in Mordor, where the ring was created. Frodo took back the responsibility of bringing back the destroyed ring to everyone's surprise. But Frodo was not alone, as Gandalf was ready to accompany him and later to add Aragorn the Isildur's heir. The dwarf Gimli, Prince of Erebor, Legolas the Elf Prince, and Boromir the General of Gondor. Not to be outdone, three boys Sam, Merry and Pippin also volunteered to participate. Fellowship of the Ring was formed. Bilbo Baggins, upon learning of his nephew's journey on a difficult quest, gave Frodo the sting that glows when the orcs are close and the mithril armor made of the hardest material. Then the Fellowship officially departed in secret, as well as avoiding spying from the enemy. Gandalf knew that the Saruman had betrayed, then could no longer go south through Isengard. They will have to cross the Caradhras, go through the Misty Mountains to get to the other side of the mountains. They will move more safely when avoiding Isengard. But Saruman continued to interfere, creating a storm that prevented the Fellowship from passing through. Gandalf had to choose another route, which was to go through the mines of Moria, which was once the kingdom of the dwarves. The Fellowship has entered Moria by the Gate of Durin to the west. Here, Gimli sees the grave of his uncle Balin. Balin is a member of Thorol's companion. In the past, he led a group of dwarves to try to retake the mines of Moria but failed and lay down here. With Pippin's mischief, he accidentally woke up the orcs residing in Moria. They quickly rushed to the room. A fight broke out in the chaos and Frodo was stabbed. Fortunately, the armor worked, not hurting Frodo. The Fellowship quickly retreated. However, the commotion awakened an ancient monster residing in Moria. That was Balrog, one of the ancient servants of the world's first Dark Lord. So everyone had to flee to avoid encountering the monster. Upon reaching the bridge, Gandalf was forced to stay behind to prevent the monster from advancing to ensure the safety of others. A duel took place between Gandalf and Balrog. With his strength, Gandalf was able to repel the Balrog, but he was dragged into the abyss. The Fellowship must accept the loss of an important member and move on. The Fellowship then headed to Lothlorien, the domain of Elf Queen Galadriel, one of the most powerful elves living in Middle-earth. The recipients were welcomed and met with Galadriel and Lord Celeborn. When the party was preparing to rest, Princess Galadriel met Frodo privately and let him see what would happen in the future if he failed in this mission through her mirror. But she also faces the challenge of getting the chance to take the Lord's ring from Frodo. With wisdom and insight, Galadriel was able to overcome the temptation of the Lord's ring, something that only few people can do. Galadriel has revealed herself to be one of the three who hold the Ring of the Elves' power. She advises Frodo to do the quest alone because the ring will destroy others, and she also emphasizes that without Frodo no one can carry out the mission. The next day, the Fellowship had to leave and continue their journey. They were given lembas, a type of journey bread. Eating a small piece is enough for an adult. Leaving Lothlorien, Boromir asked Frodo to give him the ring, but Frodo refused. Unable to control himself, Boromir rushed to steal the ring from Frodo. Frodo used the ring to escape, but he found Aragorn again. Fearing that Aragorn would be as Boromir, but Aragorn proved to Frodo that he was different from everyone else and promised to accompany him to the end of his quest. At this time, an army of Uruk-hai appeared to search for the ring. Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli stayed behind to stop the Uruk-hai from allowing Frodo to escape. Elsewhere, Boromir regained consciousness and had to fight the Uruk-hai alone to protect Merry and Pippin, but then arrows flew and took his life. Merry and Pippin were also taken by them, thinking it was Frodo. Frodo ran to the river. He decided to go himself so as not to harm the members of the group. Sam is determined to follow Frodo for the sake of friendship and his promise to never leave Frodo. So now the Fellowship is left with only Frodo and Sam. Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli understood Frodo's decision. They chose another quest that was to follow the Uruk-hai to save Merry and Pippin, not to let the two hobbits suffer from this journey. End of Part 1.